You too? That's why I don't like bringing Earl. Man, need a couple more inches. Dude, man, look at you. You're filthy. Well, what's up, guys? It's Daniel from Arms Family Homestead, and I'm telling you what, I wish I could bottle today up and keep it. It's one of those magical, unbelievable, perfect weather days that we have so few of in Oklahoma, and probably where you're at too. It is amazing, unreal. Feels like spring. The grass is greening up. Birds are chirping. I wish we could have 6 weeks of this constant. It'd be perfect. Now I do need some rain because I need to fill up a pond. But the problem is, I think tomorrow the high is like 45 degrees. 75 today, 45 tomorrow, but there's an 82% chance of rain. I'm not saying it's going to fill the pond up, but I do need enough rain to start putting some water in the pond. But I also know how important it is to start getting some seed sprayed around all the fresh, exposed soil around the pond. I need to get some seed put out. I was really wanting to do just some plain old ryegrass. I've not found the seed that I want yet. I don't have a lot of time to go searching. I do have a bunch of seed. I'm going to show you what I'm going to plant, and I'm going to put out quite a bit around the pond, around the dam, on the back side of the dam. And if we can get just a little bit of moisture in a few days like this, the stuff ought to just explode. And if we can get some nice green growth on that fresh dirt, it's going to help erosion problems, because until that pond gets full, we're going to struggle with erosion, just water coming down those hills and silting in the bottom of the pond and causing ruts and all that stuff. But mainly we want to keep it nice and pretty and clean and get some nice green foliage growing around the pond. And I've got a couple good assistants at my side today. Earl's going to go help. Kelsey's going to go help as usual. Hopefully we can keep Kelsey out of the pond and she won't get her muddy feet on my seat. Yeah, that's not going to happen, is it? I got a feeling I'm going to end up having to take both of you to the creek for a bath later, because there's a good chance y'all are going to get muddy. Now, don't make fun of my cluttered shop, but last fall, when I was buying food plot seed, I went ahead and bought some extra stuff for some spring pasture mix. So this came from Whitetail Greens. We planted a bunch of their stuff during the fall. Actually, hang on just a second. Charlie! I'm not really here to show you off, but this pasture is doing really well. This was planted in their fall pasture mix blend. As you can see, it's nice and green right now as compared to, just the lawn and stuff. But that's with, Isaac and Copper have grazed on it all winter. Copper's off playing with some other lady friends right now. Isaac's still here, so it has had a couple goats grazing on it all winter. But it's nice and green, and I think over the next few weeks it's really going to explode. And this guy eats a little bit too, not a lot. Every once in a while I'll come out here and see green grass hanging out of his beak. Hey guys, today's video is sponsored by Delete Me. Now, I've been working with Delete Me for a long time, a couple years now, and Delete Me is basically a service to help you protect your identity on the internet. Because in today's world, we're all out there on the internet. Whether you put yourself out there or not, there's a lot of your information that's on the internet. If you got married, your marriage license is public record. If you own a house, there's a lot of information that's public record. And there's just a lot of things on the internet where your information's out there, whether you've put it there or not. And the unfortunate, sad truth is there are people out there who want your information. They want your identity. We all know that. And they compile bits and pieces of your information from all these different sources, and then they'll sell that information to a data broker who is someone that just wants to come after you. Whether they want to come after your credit card information, your bank information, just whatever for your identity, so they can steal it and take it for their own. Now, we're never ever going to disappear from the internet completely, but Delete Me can help you protect yourself. And if you sign up for their service, they're going to give you this online dashboard when you log in. It looks just like this. And it basically, you give them your information and they go out there and they find websites that have your personal information that shouldn't be there, and they will send them a notification and say, hey, take this information off of there. And it's out there, it's spread across so many different places on the internet that one person can't do this by themselves. It's just, you can't do it completely. So, as you can see, I've been with them since December of 23. They do a report every couple months, and they break everything down and show you exactly how many listings were removed. So in the beginning, I had a lot of listings out there with my information, and over the months, it reduces way down. And they're gonna, this is crazy. They've had 27,504 listings that they've reviewed, and that information was spread across 95 different data brokers. But they're compiling stuff from bits and pieces of your information from different websites. So things like address, name, family members, age, property records, things like that. I think Delete Me is a good service to help me protect my privacy on the internet. So if you're interested in trying it out, you can get 20% off all Delete Me consumer data plans right now if you go to joindeleteme.com/arms20 and use code arms20 at checkout. That's joindeleteme.com/arms20 and use code arms20 at checkout. So here's those old hay bales I told you about a couple days ago. There's, 6, 7? And I haven't decided yet, but I may unroll some of these around the pond in different places to kind of help keep from water causing too much erosion, but I haven't decided yet. We'll see. Okay, so as I said, this is a spring pasture mix, and I'll go over what's in it. It's got tall fescue, orchard grass, timothy, red clover, landino clover, inert matter, other crops, weed seeds. That's 0.1%, 1.38%, 5.8% of inert matter. So, that stuff happens, but it's got a lot of fescue and orchard grass and timothy. So yes, it's designed for pasture, but on the same note, I need something to hold the soil in place, stop erosion, and well, quite honestly, this pasture mix will feed the wildlife too. It'll feed the deer. It's not a perfect food plot mix by any means, but I'm just gonna spread it out with my Ironcraft tow behind spreader here that works like a champ, and throw some seed out. Really? You too? That's why I don't like bringing Earl. Yep, gonna have to have a bath. That doesn't count as a bath, Earl. I told you it was warm outside today. He's already hot. Earl's looking forward to summer. Kelsey's looking forward to getting Earl all muddy. Anyways, as I was saying, I'm just looking for something, a good quality grass blend. I was just going to use ryegrass because it'll germinate fast and pop up and green up and hold that soil in place. And I may come back with some ryegrass when I locate some seed. But this will be a good blend of different kinds of grasses just to get started around the pond, because as it rains, you know, water's gonna slough that dirt off and cause erosion, cause ripples and ditches and trenches and all the things that water does when it moves. So we're trying to hold as much soil in place as we can until the pond gets filled. I am going to spread some seed down where I hope the water fills up relatively soon. I can't take this thing with that on too much of a slope, but I can throw quite a bit of seed in a pretty broad spectrum and cover some ground with it. So if we get a little bit of rain tomorrow and a little bit more sunshine in a few days, it should germinate all this seed and pop up and really help us out. Well, try not to fall down. There you have it. Not the most exciting little project, but it is very, very important. If we get those big 2, 3, 4 inch rains, it's going to cause a lot of runoff. It'll just erode so much topsoil. And if I waited until like April, May to really try to seed this really well, that's when we're going to be getting most of our big rains. Hopefully hopefully. You know, you just never can tell with the rains and how much rain you're going to get and what the spring's going to bring. But I don't think it's too early by any means to be... Can-Am's making a weird noise. Anyways, I don't think it's too early. We're here, you know, early March, first week of March, planting this spring pasture mix. That's a Whitetail Greens LLC is the company that I bought all this seed from back during the fall. And that stuff has performed very well, considering that I just broadcasted. I didn't drill anything or anything like that, but you can see the pastures look pretty good. And where at least where there's not donkeys grazing. The back pasture behind the house looks pretty good. The pasture where I showed you where Charlie is, it's only had a couple goats in it, looks really good. Obviously the donkey pen, I seeded it as well as I could, but when you've got that many donkeys in there grazing, well, they eat it all. So I've got a lot more seed to put out on the pastures. I'm just going to overseed pastures over the next week or two. I don't think I'm going to do it today, but as you can see, it takes like 2 minutes to hook up to this thing and dump a little seed in there and drive around. It's a pretty simple project, not a lot to it, but it is very important. It's important here and on the pastures to overseed the pastures where my wife's overgrazing donkeys. All right, it's way too pretty to be working in the shop, but the reason you have not seen me doing any skid steer excavator work the last couple days is because I can't get diesel in my equipment, and I'm having some issues with my diesel pump. It works, the pump works just fine, or well, the pump is working. It's like it won't prime up. So I'm kind of thinking I may have an issue with the pipe that goes down into the tank. The pump runs, it comes on and pumps, but it's just not getting any flow, no PSI. It doesn't sound right even. It's like it won't prime up. And the only thing I can think is there's something wrong with the pipe at the bottom, because the tank has plenty of diesel in it. I have checked that. But skid steer's on empty and I need to be using it. And I've put this off for a few days, honestly. I just hadn't got it done. So I'm gonna have to take this thing apart, pull the pipe out, see if I can figure out what's going on. Oh, by the way, I have changed out the filter. I don't know if I showed you guys that the other day. The first thing I did, it was freezing. It was way below freezing when I noticed this problem. So I thought maybe I had some water in the filter and it was clogging it up. But this is a brand new filter. That was my first option. Okay, so I don't think there's anything wrong with the pump. I've often wondered if this didn't get fully extended, because this pipe will go in and out. It goes up and down the tube. Let me get a tape measure and see exactly how far it is to the bottom. And I'm gonna measure from here down and see if this is even getting to the bottom of the tank, because this tank holds like 80 gallons, I believe. And I can never actually even get close to emptying out the tank, but it also matters when your truck's not sitting on perfectly flat, level ground, you know, if you're angled or something. But I feel like usually when I've run it down and I'm almost completely out of diesel, when I've run it down, it's almost completely out of diesel, and I go fill it up, it only takes like 60 gallons. And It's an L-shaped tank. Man, I got pallets back there. You can see that tank goes under the toolbox, so it's L-shaped. So I guess if there's only 20 gallons left, it may only be, you know, an inch or two deep in the bottom of that tank. So I'm curious. I'm gonna get a tape measure. Okay, so about 27.5 inches to the top of those threads, roughly. So I'm gonna measure from the bottom of that spout to my threads there and see if I'm even reaching the bottom of the tank. I don't know if you guys can tell or not. Now, obviously the tank was not full of diesel, and I knew it wasn't full of diesel, but there's a good 4 inches of diesel in the bottom of that tank. So that's my concern. That's why I'm thinking I was having an issue. Well, I need that. All right, we're going on midway up on the threads. Look at there, 21 inches. That makes a lot of sense. So, goodness gracious. Now, I'm not saying it was installed properly or improperly or whatever, but it doesn't appear that the pipe was all the way down to the bottom of the tank. And that's what I've been wondering since I got this thing. Because obviously if it's sitting like that, we don't have full length. So if it's only 21 inches, you know, like what I say, 27.5. So there's why. I mean, yeah, the pump's probably working just fine. If I'd have went and filled it up, I'd have never known the difference, obviously. But I looked in there and I'm like, there's diesel in here. And I'm having an issue. So luckily, it's a minor thing. I don't know if there's a way of twisting and tightening that up. It's just extended out. I'm gonna set it back down in the tank, and as I screw it in, this should reach the bottom, because now we're at, no, 24 inches. Well, that's our issue. I mean, that's always gonna be an issue. And I wonder if it's because we got this collar on here, and we had to put the collar on there to make it work, I bet. I say we. I hired a buddy. He had a shop in town before it got hit by a tornado and destroyed. I hired a buddy to put that on. He probably put some Loctite or something in there. That right there is keeping us from getting diesel out of the bottom of the tank. That's disappointing. Not a big deal. I just know that it's an 80-gallon tank, and now I'm only going to be able to get whatever, 60 gallons out of it. That's kind of frustrating. But that collar right there is an extra 2 inches. So that's part of our issue. Get that extra 2 inches, that's 26. And that put us almost to the bottom of the tank. Well, I guess it's good that now I don't think that there's anything wrong with my pump itself, but it's not it's not comforting knowing that my pipe's not reaching the bottom of the tank, but it is what it is. Guess I'll reassemble it, put it back together, rewire it, and go fill it up with diesel. Make sure my pipe's all the way out. Man, need a couple more inches. I don't know if I'll get another turn out of it or not. Need to half a turn. Come on. Oh, come on, really? Let's go. You got it. Come on around with it. You got it. Come on. Ain't got it. If I could just get it on around there a little more, it gives me more depth. Half a turn worth of threads isn't gonna make much difference, but it's better than nothing. I'm sure there's a mechanic out there screaming at me somewhere. Mechanic or a plumber. There we go. There we go. I gotta rewire it. These channel locks are junk. You go in the trash. You slip every time. All right, you ready to go again? I guess since we determined that it was only slightly wrong, maybe, probably, I'm gonna go fill up the diesel tank. 4 inches may not seem like a lot, but spread out over the bottom of that tank, that's quite a bit of diesel that I can't even access. So maybe I just have a 60-gallon diesel tank and not an 80-gallon, so it is what it is. Problem is, skid steer holds about 23 or 24 gallons. The excavator probably holds 18 gallons. And 2 tractors that are diesel hold 8 or 10 gallons apiece. I started off with a 40-gallon hand pump. Creek's beautiful. Started out with a 40-gallon hand pump tank, and that wasn't big enough, so I got the 80-gallon. Now my 80-gallon seems kind of small. Yeah, that's the one. I'm not gonna lie, it burns a little bit. Filling up an 80-gallon tank. I guess on the bright side, I can only put 60 gallons in it. If it's still got 20 gallons in it, we'll see. We'll see how much it holds. Well, just out of curiosity, doesn't exactly sound perfect. There it goes. Oh, maybe. I don't know. I'm not just going to run it out right now, but let's try it on a piece of equipment where I can put something in, put some fuel in something later. Ah, 70 gallons. I had a little less in there than I thought. $175. So there's the numbers. It was $175.68, but minus $17.56 for the tax exemption for being farm. For off-road use, you get 10% tax deduction, I guess. So $158.12. Come on. Unload, get out. You're the lone duck. Bear and Earl ran off. We were working on the pond. They left. They went hunting. I guess they'll be back. Oh, looky there. Look who came back all filthy and nasty and wet. I told you you'd need a bath. That's why you don't get to go with me places, buddy. Look at you. You're filthy. Earl, you should be ashamed of yourself. Look at you. You're all filthy, buddy. You got stick tats and stickers and all just junk all over you. Dude. Man. Look at you. You're filthy. Ah, sorry. Not sorry, but you got mud everywhere. Stickers. Oh my, briars. Ow! I can't even pet you, Earl. This is ridiculous. You need a haircut, man. All right, is it going to work? That's not good. Maybe we have some hair in the lines we need to get out. Obviously. Oh yeah, here we go. Here we go. Oh. It still, to me, doesn't sound the way it used to. It's pumping, don't get me wrong. It's definitely not pumping the volume I don't feel like that it should be. So where this is like a, oh, I can't remember, 4 or 6 minute per gallon pump, I don't feel like it's getting full flow. Something's going on with it. All right, it's definitely working. It's definitely pumping fuel, but I do feel like there is something going on with the pump, and I don't like that. It's a really nice pump made by Feel-Right. I may send my contact at Feel-Right that sent me all this stuff back, I don't know, what it was 2 years ago now. It's been a minute. Oh, shut off. Anyways, I may send him a video clip and ask what's going on with the pump, because it's definitely not right. It's got an issue of some sort. I just don't know what it is. So, if anyone has any ideas what might be wrong with my Feel-Right fuel pump, let me know in the comment section. It is working. We can get fuel to equipment, but something's not right. So, anyways, as you can see, it is the next day. It's much colder, and it has been raining all morning. It's 11:59. Not any hard rain. Not a lot of accumulation. Not a lot of runoff yet. But it is supposed to rain all day and most of the evening into the night. So hopefully we'll get a couple inches of rain out of this. But so far it's just been those, 20-minute showers here and there, and then it quits. But maybe we'll get some runoff. Maybe we'll catch some water in the pond over the next couple days. I don't know. But it's cool. And I'm going to go in the house and probably not do a whole lot for the rest of the day, because I'm going to call it a rain day. So, guys, remember, do something today to make somebody smile, because you never know. It just might change the world. So, guys, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. You guys have a great day. And as always, we'll see you on the next video.